Today, I'm going to share with you how to get off the revenue roller coaster in your coaching business. Have you ever had one of those months where you think, this is it, I finally cracked it, and you've had like 10 or 20 or even 30K a month in your business? It's like your best month ever and you're so happy and you're just so excited and in momentum. But then the following month is like a 4K month and you're just on this journey of like, some months it's 5K, next it's 10, then it's 15, then it's 4, then it's 12, then it's 3. Like it's just so up and down and unstable. And when I'm having conversations with coaches and they're looking at working with me, and I ask them, what their average monthly revenue is, and they say, oh, it's just so different. Like sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. This is what I call the revenue roller coaster. And it's not a very fun place to be in. Sure, it feels good when you're on that dopamine hit and have had a good month, but if you have that uncertainty about what the next month is gonna look like and the next month, and it's not actually sustainably growing, and it's like sometimes it's plateauing, sometimes it's declining, and sometimes it's increasing, we need to fix that and fast, because if you don't fix it, it becomes really difficult to make business growth decisions like investing in support, investing in team, investing in certain subscriptions and softwares, and investing in more paid ads, for example. Whereas when you have one predictable and repeatable system that's going to essentially guarantee you clients and something that you have enough data behind and can trust, that's going to allow you to be able to scale your business and make scaling-based decisions. So if this is you, you're on this revenue roller coaster or even plateaued in your business, and it doesn't matter how hard you work or what you're doing, it's not really growing. Like, one client will come in, but then one will go out, and one will come in and one will go out, and you're just not really building that momentum. This episode is for you. So in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through 5 of the biggest reasons that coaches end up in this revenue roller coaster, and more importantly, how to get off it for good. So the first reason is that you are relying on unpredictable sources of generating clients. So most people think inconsistent revenue is a sales problem, but it's actually a predictability problem around what your actual marketing strategy looks like. So when I ask coaches who are on these revenue roller coasters, they tell me that the way that they get clients is referrals. People just find them, a post happened to do really well, or word of mouth. And these things aren't bad. They're great, actually. It means you're fantastic at what you do, and who doesn't love a good referral in their business? So, that's all fine. But the problem is just the unpredictability of it, the out of controlness of it. And so this is where we want to have a strategy in place that is within our control, that's going to actually support the growth of our business. And then use those things of a post happening to go really well, or your word of mouth and referrals to just be added bonuses for your business. So if you don't fix this, then, your revenue is just going to remain unpredictable and out of your control. The second reason is thinking that inconsistent income means you're a bad coach. So a lot of people that are having these up and down months think that they're not a good coach, they're not a good business owner, that they're not meant to be successful, or that that's just what business is like, and it's not. A lot of people say, oh, it's normal for businesses to go drastically up and down. And I'm going to be honest with you, in the coaching industry, I have not found that to be my experience at all. I think, yes, some businesses, absolutely, like season-based businesses, for example, if they're selling products that, are heavily, utilized in summer, sure, like those businesses can have up and down months, and definitely certain businesses can when they're reliant on external factors. But the coaching industry, I have not found that at all in my nearly 7 years of business to be my reality. My business has consistently grown month on month for the most part, but definitely year on year. Like some months I have doubled or even tripled the size of my business. And I'm not saying that needs to be everyone's reality, but that has been mine. And many of the clients that I've coached once I've started supporting them is they're not having these big ups and downs. Like their revenue is slowly and sustainably growing, and there's this compound effect where it's no longer slowly growing, it's quickly growing. Like I went from 30K a month to 100K a month in less than a 12-month period, and I've now just gone from 100K months to 250K months nearly in also a 12-month period. So we are growing faster and faster than ever before, and that's because of the predictability, that's because of the repeatable system, that's because of all the things I'm going to be telling you about today. So, you're not a bad coach, you just have an unpredictable business model at this point. But we can't have you trying to grow a business from this mentality that you're a bad coach and you're a bad business owner. You just have the wrong business model. If we fix that, then you're gonna start growing. So being on a revenue roller coaster is not a sign that you're bad at what you do. It's often the opposite, right? Because your revenue has grown to begin with from word of mouth and referrals, which is great. It means you're great at what you do. But what we do need to do is actually nail the marketing strategy side of things to build up that momentum and that consistency. So the problem is not your coaching, it's the reliable way to consistently bring new people into your world, okay? So your delivery creates great client results, but your marketing creates business results, and we actually need both. So you're not a bad coach, you just need to shift your business model. Now, the third reason is that you don't have a predictable marketing system. So this is where everything changed for me. In the beginning of my business, I was relying on hope. I thought if I just post content, clients will come to me and they'll buy from me. And if only it was that simple. I think there was a time, 10 years ago where that actually happened. And I'm not saying it never happens now. It does to me and it does to people, but it's not the same. People are more cautious of where they put their money, not because of the economy or anything, but just because people have unfortunately been over-promised to, under-delivered to, and burnt in the coaching space. So people are more intentional about where they put their money, where they invest. And so people are a little bit more cautious and need a little bit more trust before they go and make a buying decision in many instances. Not all, but many. Like I trust myself and, move quickly when I realize I want something, and there's definitely plenty of people that do, but not everyone. And so we need to account for that. So we want to have a predictable marketing strategy that's not based on word of mouth, that's not based on hope and wishing and guessing or relying on motivation either. I have a business model where every month there's 3 things that we are focused on. That not just every month, actually, every day and every week, there's 3 things always happening, and this is why we always are signing clients, So the first is a way to attract people. You need a way to attract people every day. Like you need to have consistent pipeline of leads. If you don't have leads, you are going to eventually go on that revenue roller coaster or plateau because you need leads in order to have clients. So leads are just potential clients. They're people that you can contact. That's your ideal client. So every day, every week, and every month, we are doing certain things that brings in leads. So for me personally, this includes organic content. So I post on Instagram, that's automatically repurposed to Facebook, and then we repurpose that onto TikTok and LinkedIn. And then you can do trial reels and other strategies, that come under the umbrella of organic marketing as well. And then paid ads. I rely heavily on paid ads in addition to my organic marketing. And we just consistently increase the ad spend of that because the business, through time and the systems we build and the team we have can just hold more and more growth. So that's what we're doing. And this means that especially with the paid ads, but definitely when content's done well as well, you will have people coming into your business even when you're not working. So I could be on a walk with my partner, I could be asleep, I could be on holiday, I could be anywhere, and we have leads coming into the business because it's not based on people recommending me or based on, hoping that a piece of content goes viral in order to sign my next client. So when you create these predictable ways, you can literally generate leads in your sleep and 24/7, to be honest with you. Like I'm generating leads right now while I'm talking to you. So that's really cool. Now, the second thing that my business is always doing every day, every week, and every month is nurturing these leads. So it's one thing to attract them in, but if you don't do anything with them, you just have a bunch of followers and you make little to no money from it. And this is a lot of people. Like I'm not that interested in someone's total following size, or the amount of likes and comments they get on their posts. To me, that does not have a direct correlation with making money. I know plenty of people that have 50,000 plus followers and make no money from that following because they're not leveraging it. Whereas, I was making multiple 6 figures with around about 2,000 followers. Like you don't need hundreds of thousands of followers, tens of thousands of likes and comments in order to make more money. Can it be helpful when it's the right people and leveraged properly? Absolutely. Of course, going viral, of course, growing your audience can be incredibly helpful. Like I have a client who grew to 26,000 followers in 4 months, from 400 followers to 26,000, and she's doing about 50K a month. Like this is incredible, right? But it's not just the followers, it's the quality of them based on the positioning of her marketing and messaging. And then it's how she leverages them that enables her to make money. So following engagement matters. It's not the only thing that matters. You have to nurture them. It's what you do with them when they come into your world that will dictate everything. So building trust over time is what nurturing is. It's taking a lead from cold of, I don't know you, I don't like you necessarily because they don't know you, to, oh, I like you, I trust you, and you're also speaking into exactly what I want. This takes them from cold to warm and then hot and ready to buy. And then when you have the right offer and a way for them to engage in that, that's where you're going to start making money. So nurturing comes through long form content, exactly like this. If you're still listening to this, chances are I'm building more trust with you. You're starting to like me a little bit more, engage with me a little bit more, and I'm more likely to be someone that you'll potentially work with. And I only say that because if it wasn't resonating with you, you wouldn't be listening, or you're already a client and this kind of work that I've done contributed to that. I have a lot of people that either listen to my podcast before purchasing from me, or watch my YouTube channel before purchasing from me, or attended my event, or was simply in a conversation with me and consumed enough of my content. That nurturing is why I have the clients that I have today, not just from attracting leads into my business. So I do long form content, I send emails, we have conversations, and I run live events frequently in my business. So once you've attracted them and nurtured them, now it's time to convert them. Like, most people skip the nurture part and wonder why they don't convert any of their leads. You have to nurture them, right? So that's that. So now we want to convert people into clients. I do this through DMs, through sales calls, and through sales pages. They're the 3 core ways. There's a few other ways. I teach all of them to my clients, but these are the core ways. And honestly, our main way is through sales calls, but I have plenty of people that just message me on Instagram. We have a conversation, it's the right fit, and they move forward, and then they will click on my sales page and purchase, for example, or I'll send them the link to purchase if it's a program where we don't just accept anyone, right? So they are the 3 things we are doing every day, every week, and every month in my business: attracting, nurturing, and converting. And when you have these 3 things happening consistently and you're not dabbling in them, but you've actually mastered them, this is where you're going to have more predictable revenue. Whereas if you're skipping these things or all of these things and you're only relying on word of mouth and referrals, well, then this is why you're having that yo-yo experience that I'm not having, for example. Now, the 4th reason is that you are starting from 0 every month. Now, one of the biggest reasons that coaches stay on this revenue roller coaster is that every month they are quote unquote starting again. And this is because they're constantly looking for their next client, and they're being single focused instead of that bigger picture of what's an overall strategy that's going to support them long term and create lots of future clients, So they're looking for one person at a time, and then they're doing things based on scarcity, desperation, and need versus creating a full ecosystem on how to predictably sign clients. They're changing their approach all of the time based on what they see others doing. They're like, oh, that's a good idea, let me try that. Or that's a good idea, let me try that. And whilst I think that's okay from time to time, if you get a good gut feel about something that you've seen someone else do, we don't want to rely on that of like bursts of motivation or a strategy being presented to you. You want to create something that you can consistently do. So sure, if I put a post out, which I pretty much never do, like it's very rare I'll put a sales post out on social media saying I'm looking to work with a few people and I give them a no-brainer offer, that will generate me tens of thousands of dollars. But if I was to do that every single day, it would not have the same effect. And so this is why you need something that's more stable and consistent. You can do those hot offers and cool things, but they're more rarities. And if you do them all of the time, it just doesn't have the same kind of leverage and effect. So that is why you need something a little bit more predictable, which honestly is a very boring thing to do, but let it be boring. Pour your creativity, your energy, your effort into other things, and let the marketing strategy be incredibly boring. Like mine is boring. Like having leads come in through ads, I don't even run the ads, but like it's just so nothing to me. And then, I love creating content for my podcast and YouTube channel. Like this is fun to me. I'm talking on a different topic every time, but I am repeating myself a lot because I have this one particular message I'm passionate about, a mission I'm trying to spread, but that requires a lot of repetition. But that's also really important that I do that. And I'm not just talking about whatever I feel like that's completely not correlated to my niche and who I help. So I'm being a broken record and I'm saying things with a lot of passion and energy that I've said 1.5 million times over the last few years in my business. But it's not about me, it's about you. This could be the first episode of mine that you're hearing, or it could be the right time and place that you're hearing it, or if you haven't implemented it, you need to keep hearing it to get the message. And so don't be afraid to be repetitive, but that also often means that it's boring. But I'm not like, oh, 1 week I'm going to post an episode and the next I don't. It's like, no matter what, I am posting an episode every single week. I don't care how I feel. I don't care about anything else. I'm posting an episode or a YouTube video every single week, no matter what. So I'm not changing my approach. I don't remember the last time I did something outside of my normal strategy. I post minimum 5 times per week on social media, like without fail, at least 5, if not 10 posts go out every single week per platform, but it's repurposed. And then every single week I put up a podcast episode, which is also repurposed onto YouTube. And every single week I'm running a free workshop that is the same workshop every time. So very repetitive and boring for me, but amazing for people hearing it for the first time. And I'm just not reinventing the wheel. I'm doing the same thing, which means I'm not starting from zero every month. First of all, I have recurring revenue, which helps create that stability in addition to the pay and falls that I get, but I'm just doing the same thing every month. So I'm not like, oh, is this month going to be good? It's like, no, I know this month is going to be good, and I know that next month is going to be even better than this month because I'm doing the same thing and committing to the mastery of that. So hopefully that makes sense. Like, you don't want to be starting from zero. That energy is so scarce. And I used to be like that in the beginning of my business, where literally I would have a major meltdown for the first 2 weeks of every month because I was like, I'm not going to have the same month as last month. Like, I'm not going to be successful. I'm never going to get a client again. And it honestly took me quite a while to get out of that. And I'm human. I can have my little moments, but I'm nowhere near anything like that anymore because I trust my marketing strategy. I trust my business. I trust my team. We have the systems in place. I trust myself to follow through. Whereas I had to build and create those things in the beginning of my business. And because I didn't really know what am I doing daily, weekly, and monthly, and it was more like reinventing the wheel every time, I was just so unstable, and so was my business because of that. And that's why I was on that revenue roller coaster. So hopefully that helps, build something that makes you feel like you're not starting from zero every month. You're just keeping on, like the same thing over and over again, but actually master that. That's what a repeatable system is. That's how you're going to feel like you're not starting from zero. And the 5th reason is that you're relying on intensity instead of consistency. So you don't need one amazing launch every few months. You don't need to do these random spontaneous strategies. Like, you can do them, but they're bonuses. They're not things to solely rely on. I don't want to rely on, I'm going to put this one amazing no-brainer offer post out and this better create all the success I need for the week. It's like, no, you have to do the boring, repeatable things every day, every week, and every month, and then those things can be bonuses. So, don't rely on motivation. Don't rely on feeling like it. I don't want you to rely on any of that. I just want you to do the same thing over and over again. It has to be a strategy that's actually designed to work. So you've got to work with a business coach to help ensure that what you're actually committing to has some substance to it, and then auditing it and getting consistent feedback. So I constantly give my clients feedback on their social media, their sales calls, their masterclasses, their sales pages, their messaging, everything. I'm giving them constructive feedback on that. I'm auditing it. I'm filming Loom videos for them. I'm giving them action plans, because if you don't do that, then yes, you can just be doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. So the answer isn't do the same thing and not tweak it, not iterate it, not improve it. You want to be doing that, and you need someone helping you to actually do that. So that is really the 5th thing, is that you're relying on intensity instead of consistency. I don't like to do that. And so the way that I make sure that I'm just consistent is I choose to be incredibly organized. So even right now, I've just batch recorded 5 podcast episodes back to back. This means that I'm not going to hope that I feel really motivated next week and I just happen to film it. It's like, no, I stay 2 steps ahead of myself so that I can be consistent no matter where I'm going or what I'm doing or what's coming up for me. So I'm not saying I'm constantly batch creating like this, but I'm often 2 steps ahead of myself for sure. But right now I'm in this mood where I feel like creating content. I love this. There's nothing else I want to be doing. And I just want to be even more present next month and not have to worry about my podcast or YouTube channel or any of my content for that matter for an entire month. So I can have some spaciousness and focus on other things. And so I'm capitalizing on the fact that I feel like this, but I'm not depending on this. Like, even if I didn't feel like it, I'd be doing it. Do you know what I mean? So very, very important. So that is kind of like what I have to say around, getting off the revenue roller coaster. And I really hope that one of these things at least have supported you to see why you're on the revenue roller coaster and what you can actually do about it. So we don't want to rely on word of mouth and referrals. We don't want to rely on secret strategies. We don't want to rely on feeling like it. We want a simple, boring, repeatable system that you can commit to the mastery of. I'm telling you right now, that is the best way. So I want to ask you 4 questions so that you can audit yourself based on this. Do I have a consistent way of attracting new people every single day in my business? Am I nurturing those people until that they're ready to buy, and have a variety of ways to do that? Do I have a clear conversion process that actually works? Or am I relying on referrals, luck, and occasional bursts of motivation? I want you to answer those questions, because once you build a simple marketing strategy that consistently attracts, nurtures, and converts people, something incredible happens. You stop wondering where the next client is coming from. You stop celebrating one big month followed by 2 quiet ones. And you stop riding that revenue roller coaster, because predictable revenue isn't created by having one incredible month. It's created by building a business that produces incredible months consistently. Like, I already know next month is going to be my biggest month, just like it has been for the last 6 months in a row, because I'm doing the same thing and I'm getting better and better and better at it. And there's this beautiful compound effect that happens in business. So that is that. This has not happened through luck. This has happened through intentional strategy and commitment to mastery. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you did, and if you want help getting off the revenue roller coaster and to start spaciously scaling your coaching business just like I have, and how I've helped hundreds of other clients to do so, then you can book a roadmap call using the link in the description. Just book in the roadmap call. We will audit your business and see what's possible for you in terms of clients, growth, and revenue within your business. And if we believe we can help you and you would like our help, we can chat about what that looks like so that you can move forward, join Scale School, and start spaciously scaling your business. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you next week.